guys, so today we're gonna be doing flautas and sopa. For anyone that doesn't know, flautas and sopita are like very traditional staples in Hispanic households, specifically Mexican. I'm not sure if in other households, you know, whether you're like another ethnicity like Guatemalan or Peruvian, although we're all very similar, we're all also very different culturally, culinary wise. I am sponsored by the UWDA, United We Dream Action. The sister company of United We Dream is an immigrant youth-led organization leading the fight for the dignity and respect of all immigrants. There are over 1 million members across the country of youth, high school, and college age from all walks of life. They fight for the legislation and permanent protections at the local, state, and national level to improve their lives of their immigrant communities and families, allowing them to win DACA and other policies that protect immigrants, including family reunification, access to in-state college tuition, and healthcare for our families. Today we are sponsored by this amazing organization, and yeah, as you guys know, obviously I was born here in the United States, but my parents are from Mexico, so my parents immigrated here to the United States. The reason I'm here right now in this timeline is because my parents came here and had me. So you're welcome. I'll tell my parents thank you for you guys. So today we're gonna be talking about some topics while we're making some delicious food. And the purpose, you know, is just to inform you guys, convey my beliefs, what I stand by. That's why I'm partnering with this amazing organization. But okay, so today we're gonna be making flautas. Flautas and sopita, it's super easy. First, we're gonna start off with some tomatoes. So these are new, by the way. I'm breaking the third wall. Every time I have a sponsorship, I'm such a dummy because anything that requires acronyms, I always mess up. I have to literally read it. Anyways, close the third wall. I'm dyslexic. Leave me alone. Why am I yelling at you guys? You guys are right here. So this is baking soda. I put it on top of my vegetables and stuff to disinfect the vegetables. I'm gonna be cooking chicken flautas. While I'm going to set up for the sopita, I'm also gonna boil some chicken. In the meantime, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit more about United We Dream Action. I've told you guys that my parents immigrated here to the United States. You know, immigrating here comes with a lot of adversities. It comes with a lot of tough situations, to say the least. Although I feel like I give a lot of people the impression that I've probably never dealt with a single hardship in my life. I've given people that impression, whether you think about it or not. I think it's one of those things where like you become resilient because of your circumstances. My parents came here with nothing, just the clothes on their back. Poverty is very prevalent in situations like that. So we grew up in very harsh circumstances. Sometimes there wasn't even food on the table because my mom was out working. So it's not because my mom couldn't afford food. My mom always, I think food and housing was something my mom prioritized. I kind of just had to rely on what my mom cooked probably the day before, because I remember so many nights where my mom was literally never home. My parents would miss award ceremonies and sports, and parent-teacher meetings were always like set back for weeks because my parents would just not be around. Never having my parents around, I think that was the hardest part. I don't know how my parents did it, but they always managed to have a roof over our head and food on the table. Whether the food was served, that's a different situation because my parents were just never home. It was really heartbreaking, like never seeing your parents around. And immigrating to the US has a lot of adversities. It's not just arriving, it's also seeking a better life. My dad started off homeless, and when my mom came, they started their journey together, only the beginning of a lot of obstacles. My dad was a landscaper for like 20 years, I believe. He was an irrigation manager, so he fixed the sprinklers. And my mom was a housekeeper up until like the pandemic. And I feel like those jobs are very underappreciated, like so underappreciated. It's kind of crazy. Like I used to clean offices with my parents. Like, don't get me wrong, like I know how to clean, but like I really appreciate like a good housekeeper. Like you don't understand. Like, but my parents are some of the most hardworking people I've ever met in my entire life. Like, very few people compared to how hardworking my parents are. I have a sense of admiration for those jobs and insight, and many people may not have, as I just mentioned. I do have a lot of appreciation for the smallest things because I think being in this kind of job, like being a content creator, such a like amazing, very privileged job. That's really easy for people to get lost in the sauce, you know, like think that they're like entitled to things. I think maybe it's because I grew up in the situation I grew up in, you know, like in poverty isn't just financial, it's also like it causes issues within a family, you know, it's very stressful. It's not just a money thing, it's a lot of different things. This is just to flavor like the fideo. So I'm just gonna add it like this. Causes stress within a family, so it's not just like, oh, like it's not just like money. Multitasking, like cooking and talking it's harder than it looks, guys. Whatever's going on, whatever I'm stressed about, whatever's like really making me upset, I'm like, look how far I've come. And that alone just like brings me back to the ground. And I'm just like, hey, everything is going to be okay. Get a grip. Everything's gonna be fine. Some garlic. So the garlic, like I said, this is just to flavor the fideo. It's not for you technically to be eating. Okay, so these are garlics. Los vamos a poner en el fideo, nomás para saborear el fideo. I really can't imagine myself, you know, anywhere than where I am right now. Adversities build character. And it's hard at times to realize what you've gained when the experience gave you a lot of hardships. I don't know, I'm proud of who I am today, personally. Whether you guys agree or not, okay? I know you guys think I'm a goofball. So many people that I've met that I've immigrated from all parts of the world, they have this can-do attitude about them that is so like refreshing. You feel like you're stuck somewhere. It's like, no, we could get through this. Oh no, just like keep moving forward. You could do it. And sometimes I forget that I have that in me, honestly. I have that dog in me. We could do it. I feel like I have so many amazing qualities because of the adversities that I encountered. And it doesn't mean that you have to encounter adversities to have, you know, these character traits, obviously, but it was really hard. But I'm proud of my background. I'm proud of where my family's from. I'm proud of where I am. Although all the odds were against me, I'm here. And I want to make this, for everyone that comes after me, easier. I sometimes feel like that's something people forget. I guess come out of the fog, if that makes sense. Like make it to where they want to go or where they have to be. They forget sometimes to be like, hey, there's more people. We sometimes forget to have empathy. We sometimes forget to help the people that are coming behind us. So that's also why I teamed up with the UWDA, because I want to be part of that. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. Okay, so we got all these garlics because I'm going to use them in a bit. We're going to start boiling our chicken. You guys don't really need to see chicken boil, honestly. Talking about like my background is never easy because I don't think I could ever properly entail the hardships and what it took for me to be here where I am today. It's hard to like properly put that into words. So the outcome of what I want this stream to be is I want you guys to go check out the UWDA website and inform yourself. And I think that's the best way you could help this cause. I'm proud to come from an immigrant family. I myself am not an immigrant, but my parents are. I'm proud to be a child of two amazing, hardworking superheroes that I call my parents. Because honestly, like everything they've told me about how like they came here, I'm just like, I don't know how I would ever do that. Like honestly, like that is like so insane to me. Anyways, we're gonna put in the tomatoes in here, onion, some garlic, and we're gonna make a little puree. I like a lot of garlic in my meat. This is the blender. We're gonna remove this. I hope I did this right. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I did this right. It looks bad right now, but I promise you it's not. I'm gonna put medium heat. Okay, so the water's boiling for the chicken. Here's a chicken, we're just gonna boil it, nothing crazy. You guys see how it's turning orange? So growing up, it was very scary wondering if your parents were going to come home. I would like if other children never experienced this ever again. And that was a huge issue that I had growing up. My mom literally had like a plan A and a plan B. If she wouldn't come home, or my dad wouldn't come home, or both of them wouldn't come home. That was really hard to deal with growing up. It's a very stressful situation. And I feel like if we could do anything or any way, shape, or form we can help all the people that come after us. We witnessed mass deportations devastate countless lives, and anti-immigrant disinformation and harmful narratives fuel deadly violence around the country and lay the foundation for anti-immigrant laws in the states like Texas, Arizona, Florida to be accepted. And we've seen cruel border policies that put children in cages and shattered families. But there's also another rising threat that I need us to know about, which I will talk to you in a second after I check on my food, because we're gonna eat delicious food today. I can't have it boiling already. I need to simmer. I like organic, but when I have to do all this like extra stuff, like the roots and stuff, potatoes. So these are gonna go in our soup. Ooh, this is a nice color. I thought it was gonna be a little more like pale. Leaving the peel on potatoes is better than taking off the peel. You thought you weren't supposed to eat the skin on potatoes? Like potato skins are a thing. That's like an actual like snack. I put a lot of potatoes in there because Nick loves potatoes. This is what I don't like about the Le Creuset pots is that they're like so small for no reason. I'm just like not picky when it comes to food. Like I know what I like, but if you tell Nick that there's a vegetable that he didn't approve of in his food, he's not gonna eat it, return it, and I'm just like, might just put 1 carrot now. There's like little to no room. It doesn't fit anything. It's so annoying. Saying that cilantro tastes like soap. No, it doesn't. Guys, grow up, get a grip. You're missing out. Okay, I think these are all the vegetables we're gonna add on this. The pot is at its brim. It can't handle anymore. So the chicken is good to go. So I'm gonna get 2 forks here and start separating these. It was like boiling a lot. Oh, here she comes. Penny, it's a safety hazard. No, hold up, let the dog cook. No, that's a health code violation. It's the Penny show. You guys just don't even love me, okay? You guys just love Nick more. You guys love Penny more. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this grandpa. So this is the chicken. It's not like perfectly shredded, but like I'm not trying to do all that. There's also another threat rising that I need us to know about. Project 2025. This white nationalist agenda explicitly targets immigrant communities. It calls for mass deportations and raids in our schools and community spaces. I grew up in a situation where I was very scared that my parents were not going to come home one day, and it was like emotionally and mentally has impacted me pretty severely even now. Imagine you're 7, right? Like this is the earliest time I remember my mom telling me about this, but she's like telling me these like very adult conversations about like if she doesn't come home one day, or like my dad doesn't come home one day, or like who am I gonna go with if they both don't come home one day. That is very scary to think about. Like as a child, you just end up in the hands of random people that you don't know. And it's like, I was already being handed to like random people I didn't know for babysitting because my parents like were always working. That's something I don't want to ever happen again. Like if there's any way we can inform ourselves and like make a change, definitely we should. Project 2025 seeks to eliminate the essential protections that so many people in our community rely on, such as voting rights, to abortion access, to trans and LGBTQ plus protections. No matter your race, gender, or citizenship status, Project 2025 puts everyone's civil liberties at risk. It will make our people feel unsafe everywhere. And end to birthright citizenship, that is literally why I'm able to be here. I was born here from my parents immigrating here. This is very huge, very important, and very scary to think about. But yeah, I'm excited to be working with United We Dream Action, powered by and for immigrant youth. We know that politicians aren't always going to save us. We save us by pushing leaders to meet our demands. It's hard work, but it's work the young people who lead the UWDA are committed to, which is why I am partnering with them today, because I have a platform and I hope I can make a difference, even though it's a hard topic to talk about. I hope that I'm able to inspire you guys to be, to inform yourselves and hopefully also stand by people like myself and also our fellow immigrant communities. And I hope you can also support any way you can. So let's check on our stuff, because I hear a lot of boiling and I'm kind of scared. Okay, so this is like to the brim, but everything's going well. You know, being Latina woman, it's already hard getting representation, so I hope I could be that representation. Letting them know that we're not alone and they could be resilient despite their situation. It means a lot to me to represent, because I've had a lot of Latino creators come up to me and say a lot of very nice things. I think sharing my story and sharing you guys where I come from and how I grew up and the things that I had to worry about growing up, it's been a lot. It's been very hard, and you know, you guys are seeing the outcome. There's a lot that happened. So I have a long story behind me that I feel like I'm happy that I could share, and I hope that other people find some kind of relatability in that aspect. The one thing I haven't used during this whole stream and that you guys have not called me out on is salt. That's wild. I also always try to see how I could be involved in like the stuff that Twitch has in relation to the Latin community. Wanting to give back to my community in the same way that it has given so much to me. My family came to the US in search of a better life, and I believe those of us going through a similar experience need to come together to ensure families like mine are not targeted by Project 2025 and immigrant policymakers. One of the adversities that I faced is discrimination and racism, whether it's microaggressions or straight up racist insults and harmful narratives. Whether people realize it or not, there are microaggressions that I've encountered. The thing is, that's the thing with microaggressions, right? It's like they're supposed to be undetectable. We're already done with this. Like this is done. The only thing that's left to add to this is salt. The sopita is done. Now we're gonna move this, the Le Creuset, over here, and we're gonna add oil probably medium. All people deserve to be treated with respect regardless of where they're from or what they look like. It's more about having and showing humanity towards each other. The fact that there is still so much hatred and immigrants are treated as pawns is something that we cannot accept. That is not who we are. Those are not our values. It's like the best feeling in the world knowing that someone that hasn't gone through what you've gone through, hasn't dealt with all the adversities that you have dealt with, and still is standing by you and like against harmful policies and stuff like this. Everything that I listed. And the fact that I know there's more people like that out there that are very vocal, very up to help, it really means like so much to me. It actually makes me a little emotional. And I hope that you guys could also be part of that change by going to UWDA Action and see how you can help and inform yourself. It really would mean the world to me. I don't want any more children to go through what I went through growing up. It was absolutely horrible. There was always something you felt like one battle was done, the next one came along. And it was very upsetting. It was very stressful. There was a lot of stress for a kid to have growing up. With that being said, I hope that all of this was very informative and hopefully inspiring to have you guys check it out and support in any way you can, and for yourselves and for your family. Even being curious about it, I think is just a stepping stone to the right direction. And we're gonna enjoy some beautiful food, and hope I can, you guys like what I'm about to cook up. I wish I could like put this in front of your face and like have you guys taste it through the screen, but Nick and I are gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna finish making this real quick. So a trick that my mom showed me is that you get your tortillas, okay? She puts them in the microwave for just a bit so they're like moldable. And then we put the chicken, you layer the chicken. I don't know if you guys could see, but you layer the chicken down. You wrap it up like this. Oh no, I dropped it. Oh, stop it. Recently, my game has been off. Like I keep like messing them up for some reason. Nick wants like 20 of these. The hardest part was the sopita, honestly. Like it really shouldn't take this long, but because I'm very slow at cooking sometimes. So we're gonna let those like crisp up and then we're gonna make more. Make sure to check out the link, it's very important. Mind you guys, this actually takes a lot less time. Multitasking is a little hard sometimes. Okay, so we got our tacos. We're gonna get our soup. Now, I'm not like Nick. I like my vegetables. I like squash. I like carrots. Give me the whole shebang. I want all of it. Okay, we have our sopita right here. Get our lime, sour cream. Don't like pile it on there, but just like a little light smear. Like you don't have to do all that. Funny thing is I'm lactose intolerant and I'm just like, oh, let me just put all of that in there. Okay, so we're gonna get our queso. We're gonna put the rest of the cheese right there. Dairy-free recipe. I mean, you could just switch out everything with like dairy-free products essentially, but I like the real thing, I like the real thing. So we have our sopa, our tacos. I'm gonna put quite a bit of salt on this because I didn't put any salt during the whole process because I was like multitasking. And then I'm gonna put half a lime in here. You don't want it too limey. Bada bing, bada boom. So we have our soup. We have our tacos, our flautas, to be fair. They're called flautas, they're not called tacos. The reason that this is that was a huge staple for me growing up was because this was very cheap to make. Although I used very like fancy products, like I bought my stuff from Erewhon, blah, 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 blah. It's actually very cheap to make. Like I remember there was like tomato sauce cans for like 60 cents. Oil was like $1. Back in the day, vegetables around $1 each, I'm sure. Probably even less than that. Queso, crema, pollo, tortillas. It's relatively a cheap, budget-friendly food. So that's why it was like a staple of mine growing up because it was really fast to make. Even though it took me a while, it was very cheap to make, very fast to make. This is my first time making the soup out of just tomatoes. It tastes very flavorful. I didn't think it was gonna be that flavorful, but it actually tastes super flavorful. So good. Okay, so we're gonna try the taco. Like you dip it a little bit. So good. The soup is a little overcooked because I made way too much of it in such a little pot, but normally it's not this thick. It's actually very, very light. Of course, I give my cooking a 10 out of 10. Take action by joining the United We Dream Action Squad, a group of fearless digital organizers focused on protecting families and winning permanent protections for our people. Text SQUAD to 78757 or hit the link below to join our bold young organizers shaping the future we want. You can also learn more about our platform and the issues we care about by checking out the youth agenda and learning more about the demands young people have for a future administration and communities. With that being said, thank you guys for hanging out with me. This was delicious, amazing. I hope you guys thought it was delicious as well. I'm glad to share a little part of my, you know, my lore with you guys. And I hope that you guys do end up checking out the UWDA link and also reading more about it. And hopefully you could also send it to your friends or just, you know, educate your friends in general, whatever you feel comfortable with. And I just appreciate you guys hearing me out, me sharing not only this amazing things that are being done with the UWDA, but also because I believe in what they're doing. We align in our ideas and beliefs. And that's why I teamed up with the UWDA today to share this message with you guys. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and eating this delicious food. And you guys know a little bit more about my lore. So with that being said, thank you. And I have a sneak peek for you guys on the next noms. We're gonna be doing a mukbang of $650 caviar. We're gonna be eating all of it in one stream. With that being said, thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys later. I'm about to go ham on this, on my food. You cannot see me right here, okay? You don't see me.